Working on The Last of Us, I had this secret agenda.
You have to force behaviors.
Catwoman from the Arkham series has a deeply exaggerated hip sway when she walks. In combination with her clothing and the game's camera angles, all of this is meant to drive the player's focus to her highly sexualized butt.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
So, Concord is still getting updates through Steam on the back end. These aren't tiny updates either. It looks like they're actually making changes to a bunch of different branches. I think this all but confirms they're going to try relaunching it, probably free to play.
Why won't you die?
So you mean to tell me the petition gamers put out to bring Concord back to life actually worked? Oh my god. For those of you who wanted to revive Concord just to kill it again, your dreams have been fulfilled. Well, maybe they will. I mean, this is a rumor I heard, and I didn't believe until, I looked at some of the files available on Steam in the database, and, well, I'm kind of convinced that, yeah, Sony's gonna try their very best to get their money back, and you couldn't blame them. I mean, at 400 million in, and the game got shut down in 8 days and made a total of $0. The game that IGN gave us 7? That's right, IGN thinks Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero and Concord are about on the same level. But had they given it an 8, then it would have been a game that took 8 years to make, 8 days to die, and got an 8. No, I don't know, my autistic brain just thinks that way. And if you have a little bit of autism yourself, then you've tuned into the right channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 80,000 subs. I may not be that proud of my sub count, but I'll tell you one thing. I've never had a video in my entire existence on YouTube do worse than Concord's player count.
Concord may be offline, but it doesn't appear fully dead just yet. If you haven't checked the Concord Steam database page in weeks, you've likely missed that it has continued to see various updates on Steam. Over the last few weeks, there have been multiple daily updates to the game on Steam. Since October 6, the game has seen 20 updates on Steam by various users, such as PM Test, Sony K Shipping, and Sony K. It's unknown what the updates are exactly, but there are rumors that the game could be looking to re-release as a free-to-play title.
I'm sorry, was that Sony? Free to play? No, I think you should be paying people to play it. That's the only way this game will have any significant player count, and even then, I'm not sure most gamers will find it worth an easy payday. I mean, right now the mentality is, why play Concord when you can just make fun of it? I'm not even lying to Firewalk Studios. If they all just created YouTube accounts and just started making fun of their own game, they would make all their money back. The only profit there is to be made surrounding Concord is talking about how piss poor it was and how monumental of a failure it turned out to be. I'm serious when I say I don't think I've ever seen any other game in history flop this hard. It's a testament to the failures of DEI and ESG. It doesn't matter how much mainstream content creators are just choosing to look the other way, knowing full well the sentiment amongst gamers. The woke crap, it's gotta go. I really don't understand why it's so controversial to bring it up every time we see it, notice it, and it infects a product. I know it's too much of a struggle for the bigger creators because they know covering it splits their audience. But do you really want viewers who don't actually buy these products sticking up for them? Those are stupid viewers. Why would you want them? Mindless ass drones who actually come to the aid of these companies and these ESG products, preaching their apologetics for why wokeness isn't to blame. Bullshit. At this point, we're lacking evidence that wokeness doesn't hurt games. Every year, example after example after example, I just don't know what it's going to take. But if Concord gets brought back from the dead in order to try and keep
the message.
Alive, then that should be the sign for you. Hell, maybe you don't like me, so I recommend you go watch Gundam's video on the legacy of Concord. Why? Well, that's because I helped him make it. Yes, that's a shameless plug-in, but I think his is the best one. If you don't know what Concord is, but obviously everybody in the world knows what Concord is. It's that well known of a failure. And apparently, I'm actually a lot more well known than I thought. You see, me and Molly have been working hard on this channel, and it's finally paid off. The ones responsible for butchering and wokeifying several of your favorite IPs have taken notice of me, and Kyle, and Gundam, of course, Asmongold, but that's not really a surprise. The owner and founder herself, Kim Belair, took the stage in a presentation to defend the name of Sweet Baby Inc. And in that presentation, well, let's just say a certain thumbnail from a certain popsicle stick figure popped up. Sweet Baby Inc. showed up to the XOXO festival about 2 days ago. Then, of course, as you figure, because these are such brave and stunning people, they disabled likes and comments. No, that is not a woke trope. That is bravery. Anyways, they come out on stage to explain exactly who they are, and this is the part Gundam messaged me about.
Hello. I'm Kim Belair. In my circles, I'm largely considered, I think, a relatively nice person. These are my dogs, Sage and Flaky. These are my cats, Tag and the Gray Boy. I really enjoy Lego. I collect skulls and taxidermy, and I also really like playing a lot of video games, including Elden Ring. By day, I am the crazed CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., the DEI-obsessed censorship mafia who is currently ruining and wokeifying all of the video games that you've ever played. Thank you. Thank you, it's hard work.
Now you understand why they disabled comments and likes, right? You get it. You get the big picture here. She is speaking to an echo chamber. Only folks who actually believe in this lunacy attend it and cheer it on. What I would give to pull off a Matt Walsh and infiltrate it. I would wear some kind of blue wig or something, shave my eyebrows, put on some Gucci nails, and prank everybody, but it's not easy to conceal this popsicle stick. Once people see the popsicle stick, they get a little weirded out, so I wouldn't stand a chance, but somebody out there is gonna pull it off one day. Yes, queen! Wokeify the game, more fat black
Radical lesbians.
You know, I really don't know why this is cheered on when we don't have enough numbers to justify celebrating anything. I mean, like, how can you walk up on stage and take credit for destroying Suicide Squad? How? What makes you so prideful over that product? The gratification they get out of this puzzles me. I really don't understand. I would personally not be celebrating if I was one of these purple hair chicks. If I knew everything I was pushing was flopping and being hated on by the majority of consumers. It just further proves that this group has no interest in making a good product. They only have an interest in pushing for more minorities in media. That's it. That is their end goal. Whether it turns out to succeed or not, or even be good, is none of their concern, because they believe in their hearts that the activism they're pushing is far more important and relevant than the enjoyment and the quality itself.
If you haven't heard of Sweet Baby Inc., thank you. That's actually how I prefer it. But if you have, it's either because of the over 80 amazing and often award-winning games that we've worked on, or actually one of those, Usual June, was at this very conference. So yeah, you've either heard us from all of these wonderful games, or perhaps you're familiar with the nearly year-long hate campaign that has been waged against us as a team.
Oh, there I am, Gary! There I am! It's me! Oh. Finally! Oh, Daddy Fred is finally getting his comeuppance. I've been waiting a long time for this. Let it be known, I was one of the founding fathers that got to live rent-free inside of her head. Never thought I'd make it this far, but we've done good, Molly. You and me have done good. We're breaking the conditioning. I figured she was going to show Kyle, Gundam, Asmongold, Vera Dark, and a bunch of other content creators you're gonna forget about in a year from now. It's nice to know that hard work pays off. to be known as one of the channels that is personally pissed off this company, it brings me great joy because the mentality these folks share, what they get paid to do, and the type of people they are and how they conduct themselves deserves every bit of criticism it gets. The quality of their writing alone is questionable. We've seen Kim Belair herself in her given speeches tell people that they intentionally try to make other characters that are already established a whole different race. All right, they're into the whole idea of race and gender swapping characters for the sake of it. And they don't shy away from it either. And I don't mean that hyperbolically, I mean that legitimately. And you know what the best part is she's admitting to and taking credit for everything we're telling people she does in our videos. So there is no way in hell anybody can consider this slanderous.
Unfortunately, today I'm here to talk about that in a talk I'm going to call What Happens When You Get Harassed? A Sweet Baby Story.
Here's another story for you. What happens when you harass a Steam user who made a curator page to detect what games have Sweet Baby Inc. writing in them? I'll tell you what happens. You get a years-long worth of content made on you over trying to silence critics, trying to silence just people in general, trying to inform others about your work. You are not a victim by any means. You guys are getting paid to consult billion-dollar corporations, and you suck at it. To cry harassment would be like to claim making fun of KSI's new song is harassment. No, it's not.
And if I'm being honest, just as a creative myself, that's all I've really ever wanted. I've never wanted to be known by audiences, really. I have never wanted to be known by gamers, certainly, and I've wanted to be...
Of course, you didn't want to be known by the community that buys video games because you suck. Your work is not good. It's terrible. The end results speak for themselves. Of course, you don't want millions upon millions of people to know the name of the person responsible for the creepy-ass logo that is shown at the end of the video game credits to Suicide Squad. Because you know in your heart it was bad. You know you don't really actually care about video games. You're a narrative consultant. That doesn't mean you play video games. It just means your job is to work around them, but that doesn't mean you understand what gamers like. So to create something gamers absolutely despise has to be intentional, and she knows it. The reason she doesn't want gamers to ever identify her is because, in reality, she knows all too well that nearly all of media has been very diverse for a very long time. But to trick people into thinking there's not enough of it, it's marginalized, there's not enough representation, that itself is a grift, and one that would seem to pay quite well, especially if she's being hired by these ultra-rich corporations. Selling them on a premise of a lack of inclusivity in 2024 is such an obvious scam. She's showing up to you, telling you there's not enough representation in your story, which characters should be black, which ones should be women, which should be trans, which should be gay. Do you really need to pay for that kind of information? Does that really belong in your product? In 2024, it's such an obvious grift, and I'm sick of it. This woman has single-handedly swindled the entire industry. You are suckers if you have ever hired this company on.
It's time to stand up and be proud of our work. I think it's really cool. I think people will be excited about it and about our craft. So I decided to do a cheeky Google and see, like, hey, had anyone put that together? The Google went bad. I shouldn't have done it because rather than, any praise or people going, wow, how did you do it? Or just, hey, a narrative development company, what does that mean? I'm really interested. We were instead found by kind of, 4chan and the worst people on Twitter.
Wait. She expected nothing less than praise the one time she Googled themselves. They are so out of touch with reality. It's absolutely insane. She felt so sheltered and welcomed and loved and desired with those game studios, those developers, and of course she would because the majority of them are wokies. But once she stepped outside her comfort zone Once she stepped outside that little sheltered echo chamber, she realized, yeah, your shit stinks. Most people don't care for what you do or respect it. Why? Because, well, take a look at Spider-Man 2. Inserting Latin X, that's an insult to people like me. Because, of course, if you still don't know, soy hispano. Y cosas así no existen. Of course, you're going to offend a huge chunk of humanity. Or the uglification of Mary Jane and her overusage in the game. Or, inserting and forcing gay escort missions onto people. Or deaf girl missions. I mean, come on, it was the most non-Spider-Man Spider-Man product ever. It should come as no surprise that the majority of people don't think your shit is good. Because, it's not. It's cringe-inducing. It ruins the experience. I have yet to see a single example of any of these changes having a positive impact to the game, making it better, improving it in any sort of way. More black by default, more gay by default, does not mean good. But that is the mentality they have, and that's why she is so shocked when she logs online for the first time in years to see what the consensus actually thinks.
And looking back, there is a funny element to it where I go people were kind of talking I've discovered a secret Canadian company, these are the guys who did it. And the discovery that they had made was actually our public-facing website that we advertise our services on, and which you can go to right now if you'd like to collaborate with us or just learn more. It's not hidden, and if it is, it's very bad because it's at sweetbabyinc.com.
So funny. She said, I didn't want to be known by gamers, and then next sentence she says, we're not hidden. We were never hiding anywhere. Okay, sure. But anyway, funny you're bringing up that website that you recently actually changed and took a lot of information off of. I'll just have Asmongold tell you.
Within a couple of weeks, Square Enix was removed from Sweet Baby's clients, and now the site has gone through a complete overhaul.
I mean, it's probably a good idea. I mean, if I was one of the companies, I would have asked them to do that myself.
Sweet Baby Inc. has completely redesigned their entire website, scrubbing away any significant amounts of info that used to detail their partnerships and projects with other companies. Gone are the pages that link their name to specific games and developers, now being replaced with a bare-bones overview of what they claim to be offering the game industry.
I mean, if you have a product and the product is really unpopular and a lot of people don't like it, of course you're going to try to find some way to not be involved with that. My question is why these companies allow themselves to be swayed and swindled by DEI. I think companies do it because they feel like they have to, prevent them from getting people mad at them on Twitter. And so if you think about it from that logic, these are people who want to avoid controversy. Well, if avoiding controversy is causing controversy, then they're not really serving their goal, are they? No, they're not.
But literally within a few hours of me seeing that first post, we were not only being accused of, forcing a black person into Alan Wake, which one is cool, but we didn't do, and also of...
Wow! She's not even hiding it. She legitimately wants it forced. She thinks that would be cool to force a black character because, let's face it, that is her end goal. She wants to get to a point where it doesn't even have to be greenlit anymore. It's all her say. Again, this just further proves that nothing we said was slanderous. She is owning up to all of it.
Suddenly, the conspiracy was just alive. They were finding photos of us, sometimes our families or our contractors. They were doxing me and other members of the team. Anyone calling these attacks out as doxing was accused of doxing themselves or lashing out. That's me. I'm the CEO. I have issues. But yeah, this went on for weeks and then months. At its peak, which was somewhere around February, March of this year, we were getting something like 300 emails a day, which admittedly, some of those are going to be spam or bots or whatever it is, but they were often accompanied by death threats, threats to our family. We did have one bomb threat made to the police that they contacted us about, and at best, the nicest thing you would see in some of these spaces was that we were a punchline. But any defenders were really, really shouted down quite quickly. And in moments when this movement couldn't dig up another reason to attack us, they would just kind of move on to other groups who they perceived to be like us.
I just love how she didn't deny any of those accusations. None. Now, as for the doxing, that's wrong. I mean, I have no proof if it happened, but if anybody out there is doxing, you are human garbage and you deserve to be treated as human garbage. We can disagree with what they do in this company and the ethics of it, but we do not encourage doxing here. However, we can't say the same about SBI. They got no problems trying to dig up info on people. As a matter of fact, they had no problems trying to get Kabruda's Steam account removed simply for making SBI detective. SBI has got some pull within, the industry and within media. Publications like IGN and Kotaku absolutely adore them and love doing dirty work for them too. This is just, again, a company misconstruing criticism for harassment. The videos that, she's showing right here, none of them do what she's claiming. We all just report exactly what came out of her mouth, how she worded it, the intentions behind the company, the products they worked on. There was no doxing. There was no encouragement of harassment. You're just fragile. If you guys are crying about this, then you would never possibly be able to handle what Ubisoft goes through, or EA, or Bethesda, or any other game corporation, because it's commonplace. People make videos criticizing things, people, and media. If you're going to actually show the world the people doing these things, show the world. Don't splash on screen me, Gundam, Kyle, and other content creators, and act like we're all within the same group responsible for this. You put your work out there publicly for everyone to see. The criticism coming your way is the same criticism everybody else on the internet receives. You aren't any more special than the last person. This is why living in an echo chamber does you no good. The minute you step out of it, look at the results. You all of a sudden think you're the main character, when in reality, you're just another topic for content. There's like another 10 full-on minutes of this, and honestly, you can check it out in your own time. Or you can tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. PST, to see me stream and react to the rest, and also react to Griffin being mad at me as well. All I can say for now is, well, I just really like seeing this pressure on Sweet Baby Inc. They are not victims, no matter what they tell you, and it does bring me great joy to see them this angry and this upset over people simply not liking what they do. Welcome to life, Kim. Strap in. It's a long one. Just like I didn't want this video to be too long, so like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. That being said, see you in the next one.
Fritongo sucks ass.